You stupid spick, you'll never amount to anything other than to be my dad's secretary. His name was Andrew Cleaver, and he was a white Caucasian boy in my freshman algebra class, and he told me that, and it stayed with me ever since then. And now I'm in college and I'm graduating next semester and I'm going into politics, so joke's on him.
So I live in a society that sometimes people judge me based off of my ethnicity. Yes, I'm Asian Pacific Islander. People assume that I know math really well and I'm really good at that other subjects. And what happens here is they take me as a competition and they look at me more as a threat besides a friend. So that's one thing that I deal with. At the same time, people need to understand that not everyone is really good at what they do depending on their looks and stuff. So you have to look at a different perspective that we all should look at each other equally and as friends.
I was working at a gas station. I was a cashier, and this guy walked in, and he had on his hat, "Make America Great," of course, of Donald Trump. So, on his vest, he also said, "I've been racist since September 11, 2001. He took one look at me and told me, "Are you gonna make my sandwich?" And I said, "Of course, yeah." He said, "I don't want you making my sandwich." And he pointed to a coworker behind me who was white. He said, "I want her." So I just looked at him and I said, "Okay." And I just went and I let the coworker do it. I never felt like subject to racism since that one time.
My name is Donovan, and one time that I've been discriminated on is at a Trump protest in downtown Sacramento. I went there and I expressed the fact that I voted for Hillary Clinton in the recent election, and someone called me a nigger.
When I was younger, like in elementary school, I was like about 10 years old. I was discriminated against, and someone told me I should go back to Mexico because that's where my ancestors came from. And I was 10 years old, so I didn't understand what was going on.
When I was in high school, a teacher once told me, "You won't make it past high school, you're going to be a picker like the rest of your family." That's when I knew how to make a change.
So back when I was in elementary, this was actually my kindergarten year, I had an English language development course, and we were reading a book, my teacher and I, and she said, I was actually struggling with one of the words, and I couldn't read it, and she said, "You had to be Mexican." She closed the book and walked away.
So one day I was pulled over due to tinted windows, as so they said. The police officer approached my window and asked only for my driver's license. Once I handed her the driver's license, she glimpsed over at me, handed the license, almost in disbelief that I had a driver's license, meaning that I was legal. After a long pause, she asked for my other documents, and for me that was very discriminative.
Alrighty, so I was in 5th grade and I was in lunch line waiting to get my food, and the guy next to me dropped his plate and he looked at me and he said, "Pick that up, you wetback, that's what you're here for." And for me that was really like eye-opening, because it, like, you know the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones but words will never hurt me. They actually do hurt.
So one time when I used to work at a restaurant, there was this older Caucasian male that would always go in at least once a week, and he was always really rude to us, but I never understood what was the reasoning behind why he was being so rude. And once I was taking his order, and it was always really hard to understand him because he was speaking like a really low tone of voice. And one day I asked him if he could please repeat himself, and he like flipped out on me and told me to go back to Mexico if I can't even do a simple task, that my job wasn't that hard to do.
I've been discriminated before in many ways. People will look at me up and down, dirty looks, just because, hey, she has a piercing and curly hair, or the color of my skin, and I'm embracing myself, and I guess it doesn't suit everybody's needs.